Hello, I'm Helio Garcia, and I run the Logos Institute for Crisis Management and Executive Leadership in New York City. In addition to the work I've been fortunate to be able to do with clients around the world, I'm also a professor of leadership, ethics, crisis, and related topics in a number of universities, and have been a visiting professor or guest lecturer in universities around the world in dozens of countries and several continents. Here in New York City, I'm on the faculty of Columbia University's Graduate School of Engineering and New York University's Stern School of Business, where I teach in the Executive MBA program, in the Masters in Risk Management program, and in the Masters in Corporate Communication and Public Relations program of NYU School of Professional Studies. For the Global Brand Convergence, I've been asked to put into context the emergence of generative artificial intelligence as a disruptive technology. Let me say that every emerging technology can be used for good or could be used for harm. The technology itself is neutral. It's how we use that technology that matters. Now, disruptive technologies and society's reactions to those disruptive technologies follow patterns. With every emerging technology, there's an effect on society in general. And I have found in 43 years in the crisis management space, every emerging technology also has an effect on crisis management. At the level of society, the new technology initially seems exotic. People say, wow, that's cool, or wow, that's scary. They ask, what is this? Why do I want it? How does it work? Early adopters begin to describe the wonderful things this technology does. People try to monetize it. Then people go all in. There's irrational exuberance for the technology. Then there's some trouble. There's typically a backlash or a failure, and eventually we get equilibrium. In the world of crisis, whatever the technology is, it initially can be seen as part of the crisis an organization faces. That technology can also help the organization figure out what is happening in the crisis. And the technology can help an organization respond effectively in the crisis. Take, for example, fax, the ability developed and popularized in the 1980s of the ability to send documents via phone. I remember being shocked that such a thing was possible. It was exotic. I said, wow. And as we began to grapple with the uses of fax in the 1980s, by 1989, at the Tiananmen Square uprising in Beijing, outsiders referred to what was happening there as the first fax revolution. And that's because organizers were using faxes to tell supporters where to go, what to do, and things like that. In 1993, the internet became available. We saw the same pattern. Wow, that's cool. Wow, that's scary. What is this? Why do I want it? How does it work? Early adopters began to describe the wonderful things the internet can do. People tried to monetize the internet. Then there was an all-in surge in dot-com commerce. There was irrational exuberance. Then the dot-com crash leading to a global recession. But eventually, equilibrium, and now the internet is humming in the background. In the world of crisis, the internet became the cause of many a crisis, but it also became a way for organizations to develop situational awareness in the crisis, and it became a way to respond to crisis. Let's turn to social media. 15 years after the internet came along, and 15 years ago, social media began to emerge, and we saw the same pattern. It was exotic. People asked or said, wow, that's cool. People said, wow, that's scary. They asked, what is this? Why do I want it? How does it work? Early adopters began to describe the wonderful thing it does. People went all in. People tried to monetize it. There was irrational exuberance, but then there was trouble. Misinformation, disinformation, bots, trolls, incitement of violence. Elon Musk bought Twitter a year ago. It has lost 40% of its value and much of its brand equity in the last year. And with social media as a whole, we're still not at equilibrium. And in the world of crisis, we saw social media play an important role. In 2009, the election protests in Iran were dubbed the first Twitter revolution. In 2011, during the Arab Spring uprisings, social media and Twitter in particular was seen as a way to keep people informed, especially those outside of the region. In 2011, in the southern China city of Guangzhou, there was a high-speed train crash. And netizens, the citizens who used technology in China, used their phones with pictures and videos to hold the government accountable about that crash. Back in the early days of social media, many companies would ask me and my firm to help them create their crisis plan, but they often asked for a separate social media crisis plan to go along with the crisis plan, as if there would be a crisis that had nothing to do with social media, and then another crisis that would be only social media. I would always push back. I'd ask, do you also want a telephone crisis plan? Social media is just a tool like the telephone or any other tool. It took companies a long time to recognize that social media was becoming a new normal and needed to be integrated into, not be separate from, their crisis plan. We don't hear that anymore. Now social media is an integral part of every crisis plan and in all elements to social media in a crisis. As with the other technologies, social media can be part of the crisis coming at an organization. Social media can help an organization build situational awareness, and social media can be part of the organization's response in the crisis. And now we have generative artificial intelligence. Generative AI is now about where social media was in 2009. It is exotic. It is mysterious. It is exciting. It is scary all at the same time. And as with other technological breakthroughs, it will be used for great good, and it will be used for great harm. We're still in the phase of, wow, that's cool. Wow, that's scary. What is this? Why do I want it? How does it work? Early adopters begin to describe the wonderful things that AI can do. I am heartened that technology leaders like Sundar Pichai at Google are calling for the industry to slow down until it better understands the risks and better understands how society needs to catch up with artificial intelligence. I'm also heartened that governments are beginning to take seriously the need to understand artificial intelligence and find boundaries for it, including this past week, the President of the United States. I'm glad that people are taking seriously both the risks and the opportunity that generative artificial intelligence represents. By the way, in preparing for this session, I went to ChatGPT. It's only the third time I have ever used it. I gave ChatGPT the following instruction: highlight the significance of disruptive technologies in crisis management. Include facts, internet, social media, and generative artificial intelligence. And this is what ChatGPT prepared in 3 seconds. Disruptive technologies play a pivotal role in crisis management by enhancing communication and response efforts. Facts once revolutionary, expedited information transfer during emergencies. The internet broadened access to real-time data, adding faster decision-making. Social media facilitates rapid dissemination of critical information to the masses, fostering community engagement and awareness. Generative artificial intelligence contributes by automating data analysis and predicting crisis patterns, allowing for proactive measures. Together, these technologies empower authorities and communities to navigate crises more efficiently and collaboratively. Not bad, not great, needs some work, but still, wow. And in the world of crisis, I can predict there will be crises caused by generative AI. AI will also help organizations better figure out what's happening to them, and AI will have a role in the response to the crisis. But I worry that for now, given all the potential good that AI is doing and can continue to do, there is also cause for alarm. AI can intensify the divisions and challenges of the current time. Disinformation, misinformation, fractured political and social dynamics in many countries around the world, malicious actors trying to cheat or defraud people and institutions, war in Eastern Europe and the Middle East. But we know the patterns. There will be some trouble, some backlash, some failure, and then equilibrium. It will operate in the background as we move on to the next disruptive technology. Thank you very much.